Let's move on to main topic number 2, shall we? And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by John Dobbs. And John Dobbs writes, "Greetings, John." Well, greetings, John, yourself, John Dobbs. Greetings. It's been 5 years since Godzilla was first announced, since Godzilla vs. Kong was first announced. And it now looks like it has a home. The Hollywood Reporter has come out about a Netflix offering a $200 million deal that Warner Brothers apparently rejected in favor of an HBO Max release. I feel that was the wrong move considering how low profile HBO Max is in comparison. What are your thoughts? All right, thanks for sending that in, man. Yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong. This is Godzilla vs. Kong for a lot of the pandemic is a movie that kind of got shuffled away and relegated a little bit to, you know, the fringes of discussions. Not a lot of people talked about Godzilla vs. Kong over the past 8 or 9 months. But in the past little while, it seems like discussion about Godzilla vs. Kong has kind of popped back up again. It's about, you know, okay, so when are we going to start to see trailers? What's going to happen with it? Especially in the context of we see, you know, Soul got moved straight to streaming. We've seen Wonder Woman 84 get moved straight to streaming. There's a lot of questions about Black Widow and what's going to happen there and all that kind of stuff. So what's going to happen with Godzilla vs. Kong? Well, yes, there was a report that came out, and some people have misinterpreted this report, talking about a little bit of a bidding war going on between Netflix and HBO Max. This is the story that we get from the Hollywood Reporter, who writes, Godzilla vs. Kong, the forthcoming monster movie from Legendary Pictures, looks likely to be the latest big franchise movie to be headed to a streamer. Knowledgeable sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Netflix has made an offer of more than $200 million for the film, while Warner Media has blocked the deal while preparing an offer of its own for the streamer, HBO Max. Legendary declined to comment, while a Warner Brothers spokesperson said, and this is important, a Warner Brothers spokesperson said, "We plan to release Godzilla vs. Kong theatrically next year, 2021, as scheduled." This is important. Let's read that last part again. A Warner Brothers spokesperson said, "We plan to release Godzilla vs. Kong theatrically next year as scheduled." So, in the midst of all this discussion and talk about, you know, will it go to Netflix? Will it go to HBO Max? Warner Brothers right now, their official position at the moment is, that's great. You can talk about all this stuff. Our plans are to put Godzilla vs. Kong in the theaters as planned. And we need to take that seriously. That is a Warner Brothers rep, an official source saying, we plan on putting this thing out theatrically. But you also have to take that official statement from the Warner Brothers rep with a grain of salt, because it wasn't that long ago that a verified Warner Brothers executive also said, no, we're not planning. It's extremely unlikely that we'll put Wonder Woman 84 on a day and date release on streaming. It's very unlikely that we'll do that. Well, guess what? Fast forward a month and a half, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting Wonder Woman out on a day and date release on streaming. So we do need to take it seriously that a Warner Brothers rep is saying, nope, Godzilla's going to theaters. We do, but we also have to take with a grain of salt that maybe that's what they're thinking for now. Now, as far as the idea of, would it be a better idea for Godzilla vs. Kong to go to Netflix, or would it be a better idea for Godzilla vs. Kong to go to HBO Max? Well, clearly the better option is to go to HBO Max, because this is ultimately, you know, Warner, it's a Legendary produced film, but they are in association with with Warner Brothers, which of course owns HBO. It'd be far more beneficial for them to get it on HBO Max if they can make the numbers work. What do I think is ultimately going to happen here with Godzilla vs. Kong? Honestly, I think Godzilla vs. Kong, I think it's in the tea leaves, man. I think Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be on a streamer. And I have very little doubt. I don't know this. This is just what I believe. I have very little doubt that when it does go straight to streaming, it's going to be on HBO Max, not Netflix. Legendary just has that relationship with Warner Brothers. It's an important relationship. It's got a long history, that relationship. And all things being equal, they're going to go with HBO Max. There's a few moving pieces to that, but I have very, very little doubt. Again, I don't know this. I'm just what I believe. I have personally a very little doubt that we're going to hear pretty soon that Godzilla vs. Kong is going to end up on HBO Max. HBO Max is starting to make a big push. They have seen... the Jungle Jesus just sent in a super chat badge on the live chat. Thank you for that, Jungle Jesus. Appreciate that. I think Warner Brothers has been very spooked. I think HBO Max has been very spooked, scared by the fact that they've seen the numbers that Disney Plus has been acquiring. They've also seen Disney Plus and Disney as a whole company realigning their entire company to be all about streaming. We talked about that a lot over the past week and the comments by Bob Chapek, the CEO over at Disney. And I think that's causing Warner Brothers to kind of refocus a little bit more energy and attention over onto the HBO Max side. Again, not what I know, it's just what I think. And it would make sense to me, especially when you consider the financial disappointment that Godzilla King of the Monsters was. Now, whether you love or were disappointed with that film. You know, Robert Meyer Burnett really loved that movie. I was really disappointed with it. But whether you loved or were disappointed with the film, there's no escaping the fact that it was financially not what they wanted it to be. We have seen this Godzilla-verse in a steep decline in box office. That could also make a Godzilla vs. Kong a prime candidate to move as a premium piece of content onto HBO Max. So again, listen, a lot of different things could happen. Maybe Warner Brothers follows through and they actually do put it out theatrically first. I doubt it, but that is still a strong possibility. Maybe Netflix comes back with like a Godfather-like offer they can't refuse. Maybe they come back with a $400 million offer, which would be ridiculous for them to do, but who knows? That's possible. I still think when you look at all the circumstances and when you look at everything, the way they're lining up, I think it honestly makes the most sense that they will most likely be putting this thing on HBO Max. That's my guess. We'll have to see. Again, there's a lot of variables in play. Question here for you guys is this. What do you think is going to happen with Godzilla vs. Kong, and what would you like to see happen? Those are two different things. What will happen? What would you like to see happen? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.